I wonder what this could be a clone of, right? Today we're going to be checking out Maison Alhambra. Alhambra. Yeah. Exclamation point. Eau de parfum. So yeah, guys, I mean, obviously you could take a passing glance at this and immediately know at least what they're trying to clone the bottle of, right? I mean, it is very heavily inspired by Eau de parfum. And, you know, it's interesting because we're seeing a pretty dramatic shift here when it comes to the clone brands. For the longest time, they really haven't been going after the bottle presentation. I mean, a while back, they started getting down the scents very well. And I mean, you could think of something like an Armaf Club de Nuit Intense Man, which is an Aventus clone, things of that nature where the bottle does not at all resemble what they're trying to clone, but the scent itself is very close. And just many other things as well. You've got your I don't know, Afnan Supremacy, not only intense, kind of a Hasselvet thing, the Afnan 9 PM, Ultra Male, the list goes on, right? There's a ton of them out there. The bottles don't correlate. But with Alhambra and or Lattafa, they have been pretty much going at the throat of these designer and niche brands and emulating the presentation. And so ultimately, at first, you might be a little bit skeptical because you might think, okay, yeah, the bottle looks similar, but is the scent the same or not? We'll have to see. With this brand in particular, their track record has been pretty spot on. So when I bought this one, I was pretty confident that it was going to be a Eau de parfum clone. And actually, it turned out to be a Eau de parfum clone. So if you are looking for something that is similar smelling to YSL, Eau de parfum, even with a similar presentation for a fraction of the cost, this one's going to have you covered, and we're going to talk all about it today. I mean, we just might as well start off with the most important part. That's going to be the smell and the opening, which is what everyone smells first. And the opening kind of is a make it or break it moment for a lot of fragrances. You smell something for the first time, and if it sucks, you might just throw it right away. So, I mean, no surprise. When you first get this one up in the air, on skin, whatever it may be, you get the apple, you get that amber wood tonka bean sweetness, and even the sweetness from the apple as well. Some of the aromatics also, it very much is Eau de parfum or just YSL DNA in general immediately. Now, it doesn't smell like YO Fresh or like Eau de parfum Intense. The Eau de parfum Intense came out, after this, so it makes sense. YO Fresh was released before, however, it just isn't a popular one, right? So very much narrows it down to the Eau de Toilette, the Eau de Parfum, and the Le Parfum. That's where this one fits in. Now, this is an Eau de Parfum, and the bottle does look similar to that of Eau de Parfum. However, you could probably make the argument that this is kind of a little bit of a hybrid deal. Kind of has a little bit more of that refined, sweet nature of the Le Parfum, but then also has bits and pieces of that more so playful and kind of loose smell of the Eau de Parfum. Kind of a mixture of those two. But ultimately, it does get that DNA down very well. The sweetness, the aromatics, the fruitiness, all of that stuff is going on in this one. And it smells fantastic. As someone who loves the Y DNA, this one hits the spot for me. It is close. Now, is it a one-to-one complete exact clone? No, there are some variances. And it's kind of hard to describe it. I'll try my best to point out the differences between them because there are some, like I had mentioned. This one does have a little bit more of a slightly kind of piercing smell initially off the top, and it makes sense because when you look at the quality of ingredients, whether you are a fan of YSL, whether you think they price gouge or they're just overpriced or not, you can tell there is a difference in the quality of ingredients, okay? The Alhambra, Maison Alhambra, Lattafa is a little bit more cheap. This one obviously is going to have more of a premium feel. That being said, once you start working its way into the dry down, it does get better. And generally, openings can be the roughest part, especially of a cheaper scent, because everything is just coming out all at once. You have the kind of alcohol, perfumer's alcohol blast that you're trying to combat as well, and generally cheaper fragrances and lower quality fragrances will battle with that a little bit more, whereas higher budget scents usually don't have as much of an issue. That being said, this is nowhere near as bad as some cheap designer scents that I've smelled. And I'm talking designer brands, not clone brands, Mont Blanc, Nautica, Abercrombie & Fitch, things of that nature. Some of those, really, really cheap offerings, Perry Ellis, off the top, they very much show their price. This one is not even to that level, and we're talking a clone brand. I think that is something that is worth noting. It's not completely cheap and junk off the opening, but the opening is where this one shows its price a little bit more. But once you get into the dry down, even the mid, it smooths out a lot, and it gets harder to really tell that it is ultimately a cheaper clone. They do a good job of managing that expectation for you. But I just want you guys to manage your expectations. The opening is not going to be perfect or spot on. There are some variances there. Now, it's interesting also because Lattafa, which is the parent brand of Maison Alhambra, already has a Y clone, and that is Lattafa Facar Black Eau de Parfum. What's the difference? Well, Black Eau de Parfum, it kind of has more aromatics going on and less fruitiness. That's always been a great clone. It's one that you can get for a good price, just like this one. But there were some minor variances as well, as you would expect. Generally, most clones, if not all of them, aren't going to be one-to-one. This one has more of the fruitiness down par. So, Facar kind of is more aromatics, lavender. This one's more apple, fruity, amberwood, ambroxany, first and foremost. That's kind of the difference. Again, both clones have their variances compared to the original. Neither of them are spot on, but it's going to depend on what you're looking for. Facar would probably be considered more mature, well put together, so to speak. And Eau de Parfum would probably considered more as like a playful, more fruity, relaxed, carefree version, so it just depends on what you're looking for. In terms of which one is closer, it's a trade-off. It's just going to depend on what aspect of YSL you're trying to get closer to. The aromatic side of things, go with Facar Eau de Parfum. If you're looking for more of the fruity, fun, fresh kind of ambroxany side of things, more blue fragrance style side of things, go for Eau de Parfum, exclamation point. It just depends on what you're looking for. In terms of versatility, you guys know it. It's generally going to be more of a mild temperature type of scent, something that you would wear in spring, early summer, fall. You could wear it into wintertime if you want to, no issue. Hot summer days might give you a little bit of trouble because of that sweetness going on. However, you got to think, guys, none of these come with instructions on the bottle or the box. These are in department stores everywhere. Most guys are going to go out and they're going to buy a bottle of Eau de Toilette, Eau de Parfum, Le Parfum, and they're going to wear it every single day, no matter what, to whatever occasion, no matter the temperature. So there's going to be plenty of guys rocking this stuff in 90-degree summer weather. I have also worn Eau de Parfum in hot summer weather, 80, 90 degrees. I've been open about that. It's not everybody's choice, but for me, I like it and I do it. It's no issue. So this is going to be one of those deals where you're going to kind of have to make your own rules for it. Ultimately, it's got the versatility to be a signature scent, and you could wear it for anything. It is going to be significantly more affordable than Eau de Parfum itself, which again makes it a very attractive choice for a signature scent. You're not going to go through nearly as much money wearing this every day if you were to wear the Eau de Parfum, the real deal, every day. In terms of performance, this is an Eau de Parfum concentration, so they're kind of meeting there in the middle with that. Longevity on my skin has been in that 7 to 8 hour mark. There's a lot of depth, a lot of sweetness going on in this one in the base to where it really sticks around for a long time, and not quite to the level as YSL Eau de Parfum, but for the price, 7, 8 hours, to me, I really can't complain about that. Projection is also pretty heavy. The warmer it is, the better it's going to project. The cooler it is, it's going to stunt that projection a little bit. That being said, it does leave a great scent trail also. So, this is one where you'll walk into a room, you'll exit the room. This is going to be lingering in the air for a good amount of time. Kind of touching on that quality aspect a little bit more, even though we already did. Overall, it's got decent quality and it's on par with most of the others from the brand. The opening is going to be really the only point where you can tell that, yeah, it does suffer there. Getting into the mid, the dry down, it does get significantly better. And at that point, for the price point, you really can't complain too much. I think that's going to do it for me, guys. Maison Alhambra, yeah, Eau de Parfum. I love to see it. I think it's cool. Sure, some people aren't happy about the bottle cloning because a lot of people are already upset with the scent cloning, and the bottle along with the scent is like a double slap in the face. But as someone who has all of these originals and then I'm covering the clones after, I think it's entertaining. I think it's fun. Look at what they're doing with the Tom Ford private blends. I mean, it's getting crazy. So it's cool to see. Alhambra, yeah, Eau de Parfum. If you can get it for a good price, it's definitely worth picking up. If you like Eau de Parfum, you will like this one for sure. Can't go wrong. I think that's going to do it for me, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy. We'll see you tomorrow with another one. Take care.